southern Utah. In Richfield, Utah is where I-70 ends up. I'm on I-70 in Illinois in a very rural area, and wanted to give another update. A beautiful night here, a beautiful day actually. It's like 55 degrees here this morning, and last night was beautiful, starry sky. I didn't get up early enough to see the comet, but I wanted to, but I didn't. So I did do my first live on on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously of using the SeeStar, and I had some technical difficulties. I've never done a live before like that outside the house. It went okay. I think it was kind of glitchy on YouTube. It went really well on Facebook and had a lot of people watching it, which was interesting. I'm trying to learn the intricacies of doing all that as I share astronomy, but more of my interest in astronomy. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, I had a post or a live stream earlier this week about I am going to gift my SeeStar S50 to my grandkids because one of my passions is trying to instill an interest in STEM careers in youth who science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So there's such great career fields out there for that area, and I think if you start that earlier, the earlier you can, the better off you are. And I think the SeeStar or something in astronomy is a passion of mine that I can share with them. So I want to try to do that. So I'm gifting the SeeStar to them. So in the process, I got to find another telescope. And what I'm doing, let me put my little Garmin on. I'm trying to exercise more, so I watch my steps every day. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find a different smart scope that I can start to learn about. And one of my criteria is easy to use because I'm trying to find things that for people in retirement that they might want a new hobby that they can get into pretty easily. SeeStar is excellent for that, but there's other options as well. So I'm looking at another one. There's two, and that are on my list here that I'm considering. So let me show you what I'm looking at real quick. If I can do this very well. The first one I'm looking at is it's an old telescope, or it's been around a long time, I should say. It's the I am not mastering this very well. So, it's the Celestron 8SE. So it's an 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope that has been around forever. They're very reliable. It's similar to a Meade EXT I owned years ago, but a lot better. And so I'm thinking about getting this as one of my options as my next step up. Now, this is not really what I would consider to be a smart telescope in the vein of a SeeStar, but you compare it with ZWO, the company that owns SeeStar, makes a lot of equipment to help automate and take pictures, especially with telescopes like this one. So you could attach it to this and then do a lot of the same stuff with a little more complexity, a lot more probably actually than the SeeStar offers. But I'm a technical person. I love that kind of stuff. So this is on my list. I've always wanted one. The thing is, there's a lot of stuff out there on it. It's been around forever, so there's a lot of stuff on YouTube about them. And I'm trying to find something that I can share that might be new for people, especially people going into retirement or wanting to get into retirement. I got to turn my TV down in the background. My dogs are down here, and I try to play dog music on the TV to keep them busy throughout the day. That might have been a little too loud. I don't know if you could hear that, but anyway, this has been around forever, so I just don't know if I get this one. It's not my main criteria to make videos on this, but uh, I've wanted one forever, and I'd make videos on my experiences from the moment I get it till I figure out how to use it and share it in chunks on YouTube to see if someone else could benefit from it as maybe an option for them as they're going into retirement or when they are in retirement. So I'm leaning on that one. So that's 1,600 bucks, and to get everything else I'd need to 1,600 bucks here. Yeah, I can get one used, cheaper. I think there's one on High Point site right now for about 1,100 bucks I could get. But I don't know. I'd just get a new one, I think, if I did it. But the price to do what I want to do, which a lot of people want, not just the observational part, but to be able to take video and photos, really high quality photos that they can be proud of and enjoy. It's going to cost a little bit more money to do that, depending on what you do with ZWO is the company that makes SeeStar. They also make devices that you can attach to the side of these telescopes to do those kind of things, to automate them and create a Wi-Fi and connect it to your iPad or your computer back in your house. So you're all said and done to do all of that with this thing. I'm probably talking more like 2,500 bucks, I'm guessing. But that's one that's on my list that I'm considering. Celestron's a huge company, been around forever. I think they're consolidating their power now that Meade Telescopes, who I only owned Meade telescopes for most of my life. I had a big reflector earlier in the day, back when Hale-Bopp collided with Jupiter, and then I had the EXT a few years ago, and I wasn't really very happy with that. It didn't meet my needs with the uh, with what I was really looking for in a telescope and the quality there, and so I sold both of those. And so I'm looking at Celestron as one option. The other option that I'm considering, and this one's really interesting to me, is from a company called Unistellar. And I've been very active on their forums on Facebook, watching and listening to the people that the communities that use. There's the four different scopes, I think, four that they make, smart telescopes that they make. Let me see real quick here. Yeah, so they make those all their telescopes, and so they've got the Odyssey range. That's one, two of those. Basically, there's a difference between these, I think, where this one has an eyepiece. It's a Nikon, really highly technical. I don't know the lingo yet, but it's highly technical in that it brightens the image like no other eyepiece ever would when you look through it. But you also have all of the power of a SeeStar and more. Frankly, more. It's longer, different focal length, bigger aperture, the whole bit. So I'd call it, at least on the face of it, more advanced, way more advanced than the C Star. And the other one just doesn't have this eyepiece is the difference that I see. Then they have a whole range of them. There they are. There's four of them that they have, and I think that's the main difference is the Odyssey Pro, again with the eyepiece on the Pro, and the Equinox is the one I'm really looking at right now. And then the EV Scope 2 with that Nikon eyepiece, which jumps it up to almost $5,000. Homeboy ain't spending $5,000 on a telescope without probably ending up with a divorce. So that one's not an option. Now, so the Equinox 2 is the one I'm considering. It would have everything I need in here. I think it would be with the F ratio, could do the planets the way I want to do them, and do deep space stuff as well, and solar and lunar and all that. So that's kind of the one I'm honing in on. It's that one versus, as I mentioned, it's that one versus the Celestron, are the two I'm working on now. A funny story. I can be impetuous sometimes, and I hate admitting this, but I was so enamored by the Equinox as I was reading about it, and looking at some. There's not a lot of videos out there on this. Unistellar is a fairly new entry, I think, into the market. But I watched a guy out a something in Las Vegas, an astronomy event somewhere out in Vegas, and he found his way upon these people at the end of the day, and talked to their CEO. And so this telescope really jumped out at me at that point. So I'm looking into that. When I got on Facebook on the different groups for Unistellar and watched, I want to read the user experience. So I read through a lot. And what was interesting, I started to get into people that had different issues they were having with their Unistellars. And it's like anything else. You have to understand that it's like a bell curve. There's probably people who buy these things and don't really know what they're doing yet. They're just learning. And so they get on the forum and they complain or they ask for help or whatever. Then there's the mass in the middle who probably do pretty well, and there's the advanced users on the other end, right? So bell curve probably. But I was reading the comments of the people that were having problems with them, and some of them sounded like they really knew what they were talking about. And they talked about issues with like the firmware, and it wasn't performing for some reasons the way they wanted it, all that kind of stuff. So it gave me pause for a moment, and I was ready to purchase one of these. I was very close to doing it, and I ended up in an engagement, an email with one of their customer service people who tried to assure me. It was funny. It was the same customer service person, and I'm not gonna say her name, but she's a wonderful person. It sounds like she gets excuse me, she gets into the forums, and I think it's her, gets into the forums and tries to solve a lot of the problems people have. And so I told them what I was wanting to do. I'm looking for a different scope because I'm gifting my SeeStar, and I want to do, and I'm not begging for anything. I don't want anything free, but I said, I'm really interested in the Equinox, or maybe the Odyssey, because I don't see a lot out there on YouTube. There's some stuff out there on reviews of these, but from somebody starting out from scratch and then slowly teaching themselves how to use it and be proficient, I don't see a lot out there like you do on the Celestron or the SeeStar or some other things out there. So coupling those two together with this has got the F ratio that I'm really looking for for what I want to do, this would be the perfect scope. So I really want to buy this one. I really, really, really do. But it's 2,500 bucks too. So I got to make sure if I get it, I don't want to buy something and then have problems with it and then kind of throw a wrench in my plans to be able to create good content for people to learn about how to use this telescope. So my jury's out on whether to get this one yet or not. What I'm going to do is I told them in the forums, thank you. A lot of people jumped in and gave me feedback on their thoughts. And I said, I'm just going to watch for now and just see how it goes. Great pictures people post on there all the time, which is fantastic. Uh, so I'm just going to watch it for a while in the forums. I could, like I said, go immediately and get a Nexstar. I mean, they're so ubiquitous in astrophotography, and they're been around forever. So I could get one of those, but there's a lot of reviews out there on those, and it's a little more complicated. And I don't know for someone going into retirement or in retirement that they'd want to deal with all the stuff you have to deal with to get this one to do what the SeeStar or that one of those Unistellars does. I mean, you get a lot better quality pictures out of this 8-inch aperture, and then using the software to do some editing and get some really, really, really high quality photos. I've always wanted one. I don't know. So I'm gonna watch for a little while longer and then pull the trigger on one of the two. I'm just not sure which right now. But anyway, I pulled the SeeStar out last night. Gosh, it was fantastic. It was a beautiful night. Boom, immediately went to Andromeda. I had some cloud problems move in. It was a beautiful sky, no moon right now. And I wanted to get that. There's a comet, Olbers, that's setting in the west right now, and I wanted to get that. But like an idiot, I set the telescope up on the far side of my driveway in the garage on the concrete to make it's a great spot I know I can get the SeeStar level very quickly. So that's where I use a lot. But what I didn't realize is that by the time I got outside after walking the dogs and doing this other stuff, it had lowered below the crest of the roof of my house, so I couldn't get the comet in. So I went ahead and zoomed in on Andromeda, went right to Andromeda, and got some great pictures live. It just showed you in the live stream that I was doing, just layer upon layer, how it got brighter and brighter and brighter. Then moved over to the Hercules cluster. That's an easy one. That's not hard to do. And then I did the Pinwheel Galaxy and then Saturn. Now Saturn and the Sea Star surprised me, and it might have been because there were a light film of clouds moving in. Couldn't see the rings on it at all. I could see that it was definitely Saturn, and you could see its moons orbiting, three of the moons, but I didn't see the rings at all. So I don't know. I've seen other people post and they do get the rings, but the Sea Star is not really made for that exactly. It's not ideal for planetary because of the F ratio on it. So anyway, that's kind of my update for this morning. I can't wait to get a different one and to start doing videos just from scratch. I'm going to start from when I get it, open it, and then slowly do videos in logical order to teaching myself, watching me teach myself how to use it. So anyway, this one's gone on 13, 14 minutes here. Just wanted to give an update. Uh, Appreciate you if you're watching any of this, and stay tuned for the journey as I move beyond the SeeStar and move into something else. It's going to be really tough to give up the SeeStar, but my grandkids don't live that far away, so I can use it anytime I want. But I really look forward to helping them and teaching their mom and dad how to use it as well. So it's Wednesday morning, beautiful day. I hope you have a great day. I've got some consulting to do today. I'm consulting with a group that deals in customer service in the health insurance industry, and I'll be doing that exciting work today. And other than that, I'm hoping it's another clear night. I can get out and maybe take some more pictures of the sky. I hope you have a great day. Bye.